the foundations that he'd grown up in. Certainly, he had some of his terminology, some of the theosophical terminology is still there. I mean, you can't escape your own historicity, your own historical background. But what happened after that, he felt no obligation to try to make what he was saying fit with what the other people would like to hear. So he simply let that all go, and he just spoke out of his own insight and understanding. And what happened was there were a number of people. Some people were, of course, very disappointed in Krishnamurti. Matter of fact, there's a whole interesting series of reactions that took place after he ended the Order of the Star, because some people thought that he was possessed by a demon and things like that. There were different explanations that were there. I think that was a bit silly. But what happened was there were a number of people that became very close friends. They were and close followers in terms of listeners to what he was saying. And around those, in that group of listeners, there were individuals who were able to set up the Krishnamurti Foundation of America and the Krishnamurti Foundation in England, the Krishnamurti Foundation in India, and eventually Krishnamurti, in being able to write books and give talks and so on, raised funds which he used primarily to start schools. He started 5 schools during his lifetime, 3 in India, 1 in the United States, and 1 in England, which he saw as the best way by which to bring the social transformation that he was hoping would come to mankind. Because one of the problems that we face, and he comes back at this again and again, he points out human beings are so deeply saturated with their conditioning, okay? We grow up, as Christians or Buddhists or Hindus or atheists, whatever it is that we happen to grow up in, the family situation, and then as we grow older, we may open other doors, other directions, and we get into the terminology and the ideas and the theories that are behind that, and those then become the kind of program which governs us or directs a lot of the thinking and a lot of the actions that we engage in. And he felt one of the great problems that human beings face in the process of becoming really free is overcoming their conditioning. We do need certain, for example, Krishnamurti himself, he needed the conditioning to speak English language, right? He needed to have conditioning. He loved to drive cars. He needed conditioning to be able to control the car. You needed certain kinds of conditioning. It's when your conditioning becomes a bondage, becomes a thing that ties you in to that conditioning, and you can't think outside the straitjackets of your own conditioning. For example, if a person were a Christian, okay, he might say, well, there must be a God, and Jesus is the Son of God, and He is our Savior. What Krishnamurti has a problem with on that is that instead of having a direct encounter with God, we get caught up in the belief systems that become the directors of our life. So his idea was break those belief systems so that you can see reality for what it actually is right here and now. And when you can see reality for what it is right here and now, then you're no longer caught within the frame. You've gone through what he called a revolt. Now, his idea was conditioning, and this is over years of experience, speaking with people and finding very, very few people, and I've talked with individuals who were in the Theosophical, in the Krishnamurti Foundation, who knew him for many, many years, and I've asked them pointedly, do you know of anybody that ever went through the transformation that Krishnamurti was talking about? Basically, what Krishnamurti was proposing was, I'm not asking people to be like myself. I'm only asking that people become free. Okay, that's what my words are about. And so the question, the proof of the pudding was, did anybody become free as a result of interacting with him? And apparently, even at the point of his death, Krishnamurti makes the observation. He says, I've spoken for 65 years, 70 years, and I don't see anybody that's gone through the transformation. He says, maybe the conditioning is just too strong in people. And what needs to be done, it may take years before this sinks in and somebody will, break through themselves. But what he saw was that he felt was the most appropriate way to help that transformation take place was not just in reading a book, because you can't get much out of reading a book. I mean, you can get something, but you just get a little touch of it, or looking at videotapes and so on. And I've been with people that we had these Krishnamurti dialogues, and some of these people have been looking at these tapes for 20 years, and they're still going around in circles. At least by their own admission, they say, no, it hasn't changed. I haven't really changed fundamentally. I've learned some interesting things, but not the real transformation. So he thought that perhaps the best thing would be to start with children who have not yet been so saturated with conditioning, and have schools established which are basically societies, many societies, in which both the teacher and the student are dedicated to the process of discovering freedom. Okay? And in that process, in that context, over 8 years, 10 years, 12 years of education, then there can grow possibly the basis of a long-term type of freedom or transformation that may eventually come in the future. And those schools are functioning quite well right now.
You know, and this is such a fascinating topic, and I have to apologize to everybody that's watching. We are usually at odds with the clock, and we are at odds with the clock again tonight. Dr. Kneupper, how can people find out about the Krishnamurti organization? Is there on the web? Or?
Yeah, there's a website. It's just, look, I don't remember the exact title, but if you just do a search on Krishnamurti Foundation of America, just look, actually do a search on Krishnamurti, Krishnamurti, Jiddu J. Krishnamurti, or Krishnamurti Foundation of America. I think it's www.kfa.org. Okay.
And you yourself lead Krishnamurti dialogues?
Yeah, we've been doing that for the last 3 years up at Slippery Rock.
Slippery Rock College, right in between Pittsburgh and Erie, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
And can they call somebody, or is there?
Yeah, if they want to call me, they could call me at or email me. It's theodore.kneupper@sru.edu, or they could give me a call at 724-738-2382.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all. Thank you for coming,
yeah.
Dr. Kneupper, and thank you all for watching. Let me talk about it. Talk about it and see if you can get the conclusions that the Masters have been telling you to get to. Thank you very much. Good night.